Hi everyone, good evening and welcome to today's live stream. My name is Uche and in this channel I bring updates about nursing, immigration and fitness. If you've been following my video for a while or if you've been watching my channel, I have already talked about how to become a registered nurse in the USA. I talked about agencies that are recruiting nurses to USA as well. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you for joining. And today I have a guest with me. Her name is Yaka, and she'll be telling us or answering some questions people probably have in mind about settling in USA as a nurse or settling with your family. Okay. So I have known Nurse Yaka for some time now from one hospital in Abuja, Nigeria. She's a registered nurse practicing in USA and she is an intensive care unit nurse. She stands out clinically, she stands out academically, and she has lived in the USA for over 2 years, I think. Yeah, over 2 years. So she's going to be talking with experience today. And if you have any questions, please feel free to drop it in this comment section and she'll be able to answer it. Okay, so without wasting much of your time, I would be bringing forth the questions and she would be answering. Okay, so that's how we're going to take it. And then I'll monitor the comments to see if there are any questions. I'll let her know. Nosiaka, please, would you want to introduce yourself again or I should just delve into the questions?
All right, yeah, you can just go into the question, so don't waste time. So before I start answering, I'll then talk.
Okay,
But you've already
so
said everything.
coming into United States, when people hear the USA, they're probably scared about violence and all of that. And we know that we have family members that are living there and are still thriving till today. Okay, so Nasiaka, since you've been in the USA or when you arrived in the USA, how were you able to adjust into the system, being that it was different from where you had lived for a very long time?
Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good
My name is
evening.
Yaka. A registered nurse in Nigeria and also here in the United States. Um, like she said, me and Uche met uh back in Nigeria, so we've been work buddies and we are still here till now. Okay, so going into the question, coming into United States, yeah, of course, the violence issues is something of interest, but now we in Nigeria, we don't really, we know our people have been here. Like we have family members that have been here for 20 years and they've been thriving. So what's the way we go about it is we try to like look out for environments that like we look out for states that we think are much safer. So when we are job hunting, if I can use that word, or when
Yeah.
the agency are looking out for jobs for us, we try to like watch out for those states. We don't want to go to like those states that whenever you go to your CNN or you go to your Al Jazeera, they're always coming out. They are just top states here in America. That they
Yeah.
are known for. If you don't hear gunshots, you hear massacre, you hear the school violence and all that. So we try to like look out for those states and try to go to the silenced one. I mean, America is is America everywhere. Yeah. So yeah, although those states like when you hear most times even people say there are people are there. There's Texas. We hear violence happening in Texas, just like some month was it last year where a teenager went to the school and started shooting students and all that in the school and all that. That was in Texas, but it's not really. I don't know the particular. Texas is a very big state, so I don't know which particular area in Texas. So mostly we just try to like watch out for ourselves. It can happen anywhere in the United States. No place is safe. Like it can happen anywhere, but we just try to save and watch our backs and most importantly, hand
Yeah.
our lives to God to protect us because you can
Above
meet
all.
anything anywhere at work, on your way to work, at Walmart, where you're shopping groceries, you can meet anything anywhere. So we
Yeah.
just ask God to help us. Yeah, we put our lives to God. That's the most important thing because anything can happen at any time. Yeah.
Okay. So how did you properly adjust yourself into the system?
Okay, properly adjust, man. I am still adjusting. I'm see, adjusting is a very long term something. When we are back home in Nigeria, we think it's something that once you just come in, you can just adjust. Everything will be fine and good. But coming here, man, personally for me, excuse me, it was quite tough because I came in pregnant at the time. So I have hormonal fluctuations. It was, I mean, my family members were happy. I came in at the time with my husband and my daughter, who was 3 years old at the time. They were so excited. And I have also other colleagues because according to our agency, we came in batches. So we are about 8 Nigerian nurses that came in at the same time from Nigeria. We've been
Yeah.
discussing back home, and we came in and we met ourselves here in, because I based in North Carolina. So we met ourselves here in North Carolina and we've been talking together and we met ourselves and, we continue to relate. We went for orientation together, the same hospital,
Yeah.
So I see the excitement in them, but I was not feeling the excitement, maybe because I was pregnant at the time. Everybody were taking pictures. It's really fun, it's really fun and grateful. You'll be so grateful because after the struggle, I mean, you to struggle as a nurse to come to United States is another story of its own, of which I know you've told them already.
Yeah.
It's easier said than done. Then coming, seeing yourself, after all the wait and delay, and then you see yourself coming to America is a very big answer prayer. So
Yeah.
it's something you're grateful. So we try to adjust to the system. When we are coming now, we have lots of challenges. We have food, the weather, then then you think you speak English, right? America is different. Like we speak English, yes, they know we speak English, they know we are speaking the right language, but the accent is a challenge. No matter how good you are, that's why we keep advising back home, watch movies, watch cartoon with your children, because those things especially when your children are watching cartoon, because you find out that the kids adapt easily than the parents. The kids, when they come in, you see them, they are talking. You'll be like, how is my daughter even doing that thing? How is my son doing that thing?
They have the
They
grace.
adapt, yes, easily than the parents. So when you start talking to your neighbors, they'll be like, excuse me. The accent issues. They know you're speaking English, but they are not relating. So that was a challenge. That's another challenge. So these are different challenges we face. So the food aspect, we are trying to, we came in with food, so we are trying to adjust, and then we look out for African stores because it's not easy to adapt into American food. That one, that was a story of its own. Then talking about the weather, we came in December. That was winter. Man, I don't like winter. That's like the worst period of my life. I told my husband that time that if I see plane in front of my house and they were like, go back to Nigeria, I would not even think. I would just run into that plane and go
Ah,
back. Because and it's not like where I was, it's really that cold. There are colder states. There are states that are much, that have much degrees, cold, as in, with snow and everything, more cold than this North Carolina. So North Carolina is actually normal and average. But it's much more worse than what we experience back home. So we just try to like adapt. You see others adapting, try
yeah.
to ask questions. There are people here before us, so we try to ask them what you do. It's not really easy to adapt because sometimes you actually even get depressed because y- you know it's different. The communal life, just like back home, somebody's doing parties, somebody's doing something. You don't get anything like that here. And Christmas time, when we go to the village, everybody's happy. You don't
Yeah.
get such like that. So everywhere is so quiet. Everybody, so yeah, these are the issues. But over time, we begin to meet other people, begin to connect with other African folks, and yeah, that's how they help us to direct us on how they've been doing it all this while.
Yeah. Talking about connecting with African folks, probably in the church, school,
Yeah,
work.
yeah,
Yeah.
and mostly starting from work. We see them at work, man. The America, our people is everywhere. So even though they are not on your floor, they're in the hospital. Somebody, trust me, a Nigerian is there. Wherever you're
Yeah.
going in America, a Nigerian is there somewhere,
Definitely
and
there.
you will definitely come across them. So even if you don't see a Nigerian immediately, you can see the other West African countries that we relate with, like Ghana, and even some East Africa, Zimbabwe, Kenya, they're here. So you might come in contact with those people first, which they can even tell you, oh, I know a Nigerian there, I know a Nigerian here. And of course, whenever you hear such things, you just want like, oh, can you give me their contact? Some of them, gratefully, some of them are very good. Like when they see you are in Nigeria, they'll, they give you the hospitality, give you the audience, and help you, do things for you. So yeah, if you are grateful to meet such people, most of our people here, they are really good with that. They'll really, guide you and stuff. But yeah, then we try to look out for church. Like most times, the church, like Redeemed Christian Church of God, which we know is like everywhere. We try to
Yeah.
look out for churches and connect. We want, so when we see those churches, we connect our people, we see our people there. And yeah, the church really do welcome, because they know everybody go through that same challenge when they come into America, and they try to like help you in the way they can to make you adjust, give you information, which is mostly what you need, the information, because if you have that
Yes, to
information, you can be able
settle.
to go from there. Yeah.
Okay. And the next question is, what was it in terms of work relationship between your colleagues? Did you have all the trainings you required and all of that?
All right. So work relationship with colleagues coming here. So what they really do is, they know, like, with any hospital you're coming to, they know you're coming from a foreign country based on the program you're coming in with. So they are aware, and most hospitals, they have programs for international trained nurses.
Mm-hmm.
So when they come in, they set up an orientation program for you. I really don't know about much hospital, but I know that my other colleagues, that some of us came to North Carolina, some went to Texas. We're just all over the place. We were able to like share informations over time, and they also have this orientation program.
Orientation.
Excuse me. There are some agencies that have like there's some agencies that build the program on their own. Like when
Oh,
you come
okay.
in, you come to them first. They will train you for like I think 6 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Open account for you, teach you how to drive. All those things you need, because when you come into the United States, it's not like in the UK where I learned you guys have transport system. In America, if you don't, you must have a car. If you don't have a car, you are gone. Like your own is finished. Your own is finished. So when you come in here, we don't have transport system. If you want to do Uber, you will tell me how many
How
Ubers
many
you want to
times?
do. How many times you want to do Uber to go to grocery and get groceries and come back? You want to do Uber. You want to buy water. You go. You want to go to work. Uber. So you tell me how you want to do that. So when you come to America, one of the things, as you need in a house, you need a car. That's one of the things that you need. So that's why from back home, we ladies that our husband will have a one car and we'll be doing madam. We don't want to learn how to drive. If you come here, before you come, please, wherever you are, you just go and start learning how to drive. Even though you're in the UK, you learn how to drive, because
It's a
once you come here,
necessity.
they will assume that you know how to drive. So they just send you to do the tests for you to have a license. Yes. So if you claim you don't know how to drive, which is fine, you go for the driving school. You pay for it and they teach you. Yes. But something you need. So the family needs a car. So even if it's the husband that is, can be taking the wife to work, it depends on whoever that's, is coming in from the country, if it's the husband or if it's the wife that's a nurse, because I came in as a nurse with my family. Yeah, so yeah,
Okay.
the husband can be, be helping out while the wife, tries to figure out how she can learn how to drive, because even the lady too needs to know how to drive. Everybody needs to know how to drive.
Yeah, so
Once you
talking
have a
about the
child that is
driving.
16, huh?
No, I said talking about the driving.
Mm-hmm.
If you know how to drive, how long will it take for them to issue you a driving license? And if you don't know how to drive, how long do you need to have a training and then get a driving license?
Well, the training, I'm really not sure about the training, but I don't think it takes up to like 2 months. It's
Okay.
really once they teach you here, like if you register and learn it, you actually you pick up. They're very good professionals that are training you, and they make sure. Of course, one thing in America is that once they train you, you know it. Like they teach you to know. But the if it's the test, you can have it within 2 days, as long as you have the car, because sometimes
Yeah.
the first step is you have to go like get a car and put insurance, and then you go for the license, or some people do rent. You can
Okay.
come and go rent a car, then before
Use
then you
the
can
rented car for the license.
use the rented car for the exam, because once you're coming
Oh,
for the exam, you're
okay.
coming with your car.
Ah,
Yes,
okay.
you're coming with your car for the exam. So some people use a rented car, then they try to figure out. So they're not giving you their car for you to drive. You're coming with your own car, which you want to drive, which you say you're
Yeah.
going to drive. Yeah, they're coming. Yeah, when you come, you register the car. They'll do everything for you. Then you're coming. You drive the car, and then so the exam is two ways: the written, and so you can even have it in one day. So if you feel like you're ready, they give you the materials which you have to study. The
Yeah.
driving here is different from the driving back home. You have to read the material. So after you study that and you feel like you're good, if you pass the written test, you can be like, okay, they can ask you, are you ready for the road test? If you're ready for road test, you go on the road, and once you are through, they give you your license.
That
Like
sounds
it's, yeah, it can
quicker
take just
than.
1 day, as long as you know how to drive. If you pass the written, yeah. So most times we used to have challenges, not even the driving, like probably written, because
Ah,
when you go, the road signs and everything is not something we are used to back home. Here you have to, the road signs, you have to know everything, you have to know the rules, all those things. These are the things that they really look out for in the driving test. And then yeah, you can.
how is the nurse patient ratio for ICU and then for general ward, if you have an idea?
Okay, yeah, coming to non-patient ratio here. Non-patient ratio here is for ICU is 2 to 3, depending on the hospital,
Okay.
and how they run their staffing and the ratios. So if they are short staff, 3 nurses. If they are like if they're good with staffing too. Sorry, if they're short staff, 3 patients, not necessary. Three
Okay.
patients to 1 nurse.
Yeah.
If the staffing is good, 2 patients to 1 nurse.
That's
So
not bad.
yeah, yeah. So that's it for ICU, and then for med surge, the regular floors, we get about 5 to 6 patients per
Oh,
nurse,
okay.
depending. Then for step down floors, because I came over here and I was put in the step down floor, which is like intermediate ICU, like is like between med surge and the ICU. You get 4 to 5 patients. The standard is 4. Some hospitals do 3. So depending, 3 to 4 to 5. 5 is really outrageous because like where I work, they do 5 most times. It's outrageous for you to get 5. Like it's risky, it's outrageous, but it's not really like a regular thing. It's when they're like really short staff, they'll play with nurses to do that. So, but for step down, like 3 to 4 patients, ICU 2 to 3, and the med surge 5 to 6.
Okay.
That's yeah.
And then can you please talk about like a few nursing specialties that people can dive into and travel nursing? Just a bit of it.
Well, nursing specialties, people, there are a lot of specialty here in America. Like the ones I mentioned, when you mean specialties, like, is it on a master's level or?
No, probably if someone was employed for med surg and over time she wants to do ICU or she wants to do A&E or she wants to be a nurse practitioner.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
like the
Those.
career growth kind of.
Okay, career growth. So most when you come in here, like if you med surg, like mostly med surg, ICU, and I think periop, the basic one where they assign nurses. Labor and delivery is not really common, but I think I begin to hear recently that they assign nurses to labor and delivery units. So those ones you can actually be in any department and decide to switch depending on the hospital or depending on your agency. That's depending if you're still in contract or something. But if not, you can decide to switch, like, okay, I don't want method, I want to go to A&E, or I want to go to ICU. So you can actually switch. It's not like back home where you have to go and study the specialty, or they can actually allow you to go in, like I don't know if I answered the question where you talk about work relationship. They give you orientation. So they assign you to a preceptor, which is what they do to every new person. They give you a preceptor that's going to teach you how they do it in the hospital policies and procedures, and
Yeah.
then you can now adapt, and they really train you to. And you, of course, you ask questions, because in nursing you don't you better use safe than sorry. So even the dumbest question, please just ask. Even though you get some attitude, just make sure you ask and get the right answer and work with that, for the sake of your license, which you suffer to get. So yes, you can actually do that. Then for career growth, there's certifications for each department. There's certification for the med search. So you
Okay.
can go. So what it actually does for you is like it kind of give you an edge when you are looking for a job.
Okay.
Okay. I kind of give you an edge, or maybe when you want to go and do after your degree as a nurse, you want to do like your MSM program or what, you kind of give you an edge. So you get certification in med search certification, ICU certification. So they all these specialties have their certifications, which you can get. And sometimes the hospitals reimburse you for the cost of having those certifications, and actually, like, add something to your pay, your hourly pay. Why it can also give you an edge, like when you want to go into nurse practitioner. So most times you can actually go nurse practitioner is another career growth level of nursing, like you say masters, but it's not really. I don't know if I'll put it under the master's level. Okay, that there's also masters in nursing, like you want to do nursing education, health informatics, public health. People, if
Yeah.
you want to leave bedside nursing, like some people will be like, I'm tired of bedside. Bedside is very stressful. And so you can go into those. Why you can actually be nurse practitioner. Nurse practitioner, it depends. There's mental health, there's family nurse practitioner, where you some of them work bedside, but as a nurse practitioner, what you do at that point is like you're no longer like giving the direct care to the patients. You're working with nurses. You more like do what the doctors do. You do the prescription. You consult with patients, you do diagnosis, just like
Oh.
what you see, yes, what you see doctors doing, yeah. So you work with the consultants that they're also in charge of the patient, but
Mm-hmm.
then you can able to like do prescriptions, do the treatment, recommend to laboratories and other things the patient needs to go for. Yeah, so as a nurse practitioner, you do that. So you are more like independent in your practice, you know what you're doing and all that. So yeah. And sometimes some people go like individual practice, like maybe have a clinic where they run theirs. Some,
Oh.
depending on the specialty, like those some work from home where they consult with patients from home and all that. So yeah, there are a lot of options for you to like go into,
Grow and
depending on your
expand.
passion and where you think you'll be more comfortable working. Yeah.
So for travel nursing, that means they need to have an experience.
So for
What?
travel nursing is, according to what I learned, some people are in nursing school because of travel nursing. Some people are going to nursing school just because of travel nursing. I mean, here in the United States, because that is where people believe the money is. So you don't really need to have if you come in, you like for us, they're international trained nurses.
Yeah.
Some of the agencies are actually travel agencies. I think mine is one of is my agency is also a travel agency. Yeah, but we are kept in a place to have the experience, like for 2 to 3 years, of which when you are done with the contract, you be on your own. You can apply anywhere else, or you can stay back with the hospital, right?
Okay.
So those the travel nursing, you don't really need much. If your agency is a travel agency, you are traveling already. If you have eyes for it, when you're done with your contract, you already have the experience you need. You just need 1 to 2 years experience, and you're a travel nurse. So what does travel nursing entails? It's just you just apply with the agency, and you actually going to different states. So you can be doing interstate, that state
Okay.
to state travel, or within your state.
Oh.
That's the within your state. They call it local travel. It has to be like 50 to 60 miles away from your home,
Hmm.
right? Local travel. So it has higher pay. So that's one thing with travel nursing. They pay you, they reimburse you for your travel and all that. and it's usually like contrast. So some nurses really like travel nursing because they really want to see the whole of America. It's much more pay. You see a nurse earning up to like 2,000 a week. Yeah, a week. Yeah, earning up to like 8 to 10,000 a month for
Wow.
travel nursing. So yeah, it's really lucrative. Yeah. So like if you feel your children, if you feel you can do it, if you feel like you have supportive partners that can, yes, support you for it. Yeah, nurses are doing it. A lot of nurses are doing it. You travel state to state for they assign you to different floors. So if you're a med surg nurse, which is med surg is really like the most popular specialty here, then
Okay.
followed by ICU and all that. You can always just apply to the agency. They are looking for nurses already. So once you apply with currently they are, so if you are willing to travel, yeah, you're good to go, and you get paid for it. So that's
So
what travel
for people
nursing.
that are not travel nurses, do you have an idea what the hourly pay rate is? I'm sure it's different states to states. Just give an overview. Doesn't have to be exactly.
Well, it's state to state, specifically state to state, and um when I say state to state, depending on if each state has their cost of living. So those are the things they consider when they pay. And
Right.
aside it being state to state, sometimes when you come in a state, each when you come to a state in America is as big as Nigeria, right? So different cities, like in different locations, they are where they call the main town, like the capitals of those states, and which is like when you say Abuja or Lagos,
Okay.
of the site. Then you have those remote areas. So those remote areas, sometimes the pay may not be much as high as the bigger cities, right,
Yeah.
in a particular state. Just like in California now, like the hourly pay, some nurses get up to like $70 an hour, right?
Oh,
Yeah. In Texas, you see some nurses ending up to like 50. These are just depending. And where you come to North Carolina, is between 40 to $50 an hour, depending on your experience as well. So there are different factors, like a new graduation, a nurse that just graduated from nursing school don't earn that much, right?
oh,
So
okay.
yeah, also those things that consider your bargaining power, like when you do the interview, they tell you what it is, and then they consider your years of experience, and they what's and you can also like bargain, for you to come up to a certain level. But other than that, it strictly depends. You can just get like a range. You can't really say like this is what, because
This is what it is.
different nurses in different location in a state and different rates. Yeah, but
Okay.
those are the factors that actually bring that up together.
Can you please talk about career opportunities for spouse?
Okay, for spouse, it actually depends on what spouses are doing back home. So in America, there are lots of opportunities, job opportunities. Like I would say, America, there's work everywhere. Is are you what you're willing to
Are
do?
you willing to?
Yeah, what are you willing to do? So most times for our spouses, once they come in, of course, mostly women are the one that makes up the forces for nurses. So most times it's usually the women. Then talking of career opportunities for spouses, there's IT programs that which is one of like a softer ground for you to like go in, quickly learn, and start doing something online if you want to work from home. If they're not willing to work from home, you can actually look out for work around. There are places like um people they work in grocery stores, they can work in home depots, they work in some offices around, where they pay not really much, but at least enough to say you're bringing something to the table in the house. Okay. And sometimes some of them, like, you want to work in your own time, they also go into things like, what do we call it now, driving.
Okay.
So you can like be like an Uber driver or fast food driver. Those ones is just quick money. Even sometimes nurses do that on their spare time. You see them driving, doing those drive delivery, yeah, delivery driving, that's it. So they do those delivery driving, just to get
Hustling.
those quick money. Yeah, so yeah, nurses do it as well in some states to meet up, like an extra thing. You're not, nobody's your boss, you decide if you want to work or not. Yeah, so these are the things that you can actually easily come in and start doing, like as quick as possible. Once you get your car, you can
Yeah.
start doing that immediately while you look out for other opportunities that you want to go to. If you want to, people are going into IT these days, and other things that you feel like you want to go into. If it's something like if it's something that you've been trained in some specialty back home, and you
Yeah.
feel like you want to come here and maybe do some advanced studies and go back to it, is very achievable. Our certificate back home is still relevant here. So whatever I say you study back home, as long as you can prove the knowledge, as long as you are proficient in it, yeah, you will get the audience. And of course, there's always something for you to do,
That's
except
good.
you don't want to do anything. There's always something for you to do. Yeah.
That's great. And for people who are coming in with children or intend to reproduce in future, how best do you think childcare is managed? If they work from home or if they have to work outside the home?
Okay, so I remember somebody advising me then back home, and he was like, "Yeah, please have all your children in Nigeria before coming to the United States." I was still a single lady then. I was not understanding. I was like, "What's this man saying? Me, we won't come out this country like tomorrow. You're telling me I should have all my children." But then I came in here. It was just my daughter, and now I have two kids at the time this time, and now I understand what he's saying.
Oh,
Yeah. So childcare in America here can really be tough. Because it's not like back home where we have the luxury of having somebody to stay with us to care for the kids while we're not there. America is not a place where you can leave your kids unattended to.
yeah.
Once your child is unattended to here, I have a situation whereby she went to work and her colleague was like, "Hey, how your kids doing?" And she was like, "They're fine, they're at home." And her husband too went to work, and she was like, "Oh, your kids are home? How old are they?" And she told them, "Oh, they're home just by themselves." She was like, "Yeah, they're home just by themselves. They can take care of themselves actually." And the following day, child services came to her house,
Arrived.
arrived to her house, and she was like, "What happened?" And she was still a contract. The agency has to even intervene to help her in that case because they were coming for her kids. You don't keep your
Wow.
kids. Yeah, you don't keep your kids. I think these are the package they give to you when you're coming in. Like there's some certain age that they can say, okay, you can keep them for a while, depending on the states. I think from like 8 to 10 years or so you can keep, but the younger ones, like the small ones, you don't keep your kids unattended to. So childcare is something that if you're coming in with your family, like a husband and wife, um it should be discussed and it should be like looked into. Somebody has to be there at certain time. That's why you see sometimes a couple is either the husband is doing day shift, the wife is doing night shift, or vice versa, so that somebody is there for the kids. Then you can also have childcare. There are daycare available where you can register your child.
Yeah.
Daycare is here even as low as 6 weeks, because here, of course, in America, we are not as lucky as you guys in the UK that stay for maternity leave for 9 months. You guys are balling and even get paid. Here in America, once it's 6 weeks, they're like, you're coming back to work if you can, right? So so their daycare from 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Yeah, there are people, you're sending your child to daycare. That's if you want to and if you can afford such services. Some workplaces do have daycares, especially for day shift workers, that you can
Okay.
come in. They give you the priority because daycare is not even easy to get your child in daycare. Like daycare is always filled up, so you have to like enroll in months time to get your
Wow.
child in. So some work organizations do provide daycare services for their staff at some discounts, and put you at some give you the preference, so they can take your kids. So daycare is one of the things. Those that are doing night shift, you can actually get like a nanny sit at home that you pay. So for this, for like single mothers, I know some single mothers that I work with. You get a lot of single mothers here that they do night shift, so they get those nannies to stay at home with their kids. For that time, they pay them for it. So yeah, these are different ways that you can actually try to like, you know, try to
Manage the
figure
house.
out. Yeah, and sometimes you like do cooperative care, like where we stay, like we have your neighbors, the same Nigerians, you have kids at the same age, you can do turns, right?
Okay.
I'm off today, I'll take you, your children will come to my house and stay. When the other person is off, you go to this. So these are different ways we try to like, help our
Help
kids,
each other.
protect them, work with them while we're here. Yeah.
How is the educational system for kids? Is it free or are they paid for? Are they you have to bring in food from home or what is it like?
Oh, yeah, for kids it's free. It's free for kids here. I think I don't know up to what grade actually. I think up to like to that grade 12. I think yeah, when they start talking about going to college, that's when the parents
That's
start talking
when.
about paying fees or not. Yeah, but once your child is for some states 4 years they start the pre-K.
Okay.
Yeah, pre-K. Why some states is strictly 5 years.
Is
That's when
that
they
like
start.
pre-nursery?
Yeah, they call it pre-K. That's pre-kindergarten.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
kindergarten. Then from 5 years they go into kindergarten. So 5 years is like the official school age. But now
Oh,
schools, yeah, 5 years is like the official school age when your child is. So imagine you, it's not like we that one year your child is going to school back home. It's not here. You will stay, that time will stay with you. It will stay with you until it's 5. Then some states, like here in North Carolina, they do 4. So some states, I guess, I learned it was a recent thing. Like from 4 years, they can start. You can register your child in school. It's actually school. Yeah,
okay.
they for 4. So for us here, it's 4 years, right?
Okay.
Then yeah, for 3 2 downwards, there's daycare system as well, which
Okay.
those ones are a little bit grown, so they go like, but it's daycare. It's not like it's school. It's not school yet. They still go there. They teach them and stuff like that. But from 4 years to 5 years, that's when they start the school, and they don't accept you bringing food from home. They actually do. Some in some states though, in some states, I learned like I think a colleague of mine said she do make food for her daughter to take to school, right? But
Okay.
here they don't accept it. It's they give them the breakfast, the lunch, and so yeah, before they go to school, they get their breakfast before school starts. They have their breakfast time. They give them lunch. They have their breaks. Yeah, they give them. They make sure they feed
I
well.
don't know if it's the same reason because at the time when I wanted to put my daughter in nursery, when they newly arrived, they
Mm-hmm.
said I couldn't bring in food as well to the nursery because some children have allergies, and you wouldn't know which child would be allergic to what your child is bringing in. So I don't know if it's the same reason
Well,
why.
I really haven't really I haven't really like investigated or tried to find out if there's any specific reason for that.
Reason.
But
Okay.
yeah, I know, yeah, because even those with older children that still go to school, that going to school here, same thing applies to them. They don't take food to school. When you come home, you eat or you do anything, or if you want, you can have breakfast. In fact, they even like don't feed them when before they come to school. Just wake up when your child wake up for school, take a bath and bring them to school. That's what they do here. But sometimes we try to feed them. We try to like give them our food. But yeah, I mean, for some, they already got used to what they eat in school. Some
Mm,
kids that are like those that are grown up a little bit still find it difficult. So the parents will still try to cook for them. They eat something at home before they go to school. They can have snacks. Like, they can have some snacks in their bag for something, but like the food, the way we package our food and all that here, they don't accept
they
it.
don't do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next question is what is the housing and the accommodation like? How do people find houses to rent? Because the system is also different.
Oh yeah, housing and accommodation is here in America is not really much of a challenge though. The challenge here can be location, like distance to work, right? How far where you want to stay is to work, and these are the things we check. So that's why, like, anybody that's coming to the United States, depending on your your choice and preferences. Most times the agency tries to work out things for you. Like my agency tries to work out housing and where we had to live, tell us how far it is to work, to get a car and all that. But then because I was like talking with people here, I happened to get some contact of nurses that are already here in this state and even working in the hospital where I'm to work. I
Okay.
started asking questions and I happened to get a house that was much more closer
To your
to
place of work.
my place of work. So that's why sometimes it's good to ask questions and try to see the fee. Try to, just ask if there's a way you can ask questions, if there's a way you can connect, somebody in United States that might know somebody somewhere. Because as nurses, just like we are colleagues back home, but when we come here, we can be in different locations. So we try to like, ask questions and get an idea what's happening. So you can get home actually through you can through the website online in the internet, like search for homes, and of course send them mails. They
Yeah.
respond to their mails, send them mails, ask them questions. So you can actually personally, like in case you don't have the luxury of asking anybody questions, you can personally like do those inquiries. They are good here. Like they have the courtesy of responding to people, replying you back. You always see somebody that will always, give you the audience. You can also ask them as far as, how far is this place to this place? Because most hospitals are well known. So
Yeah.
wherever you ask questions, they'll know, okay, they can tell you it's about so and so distance away and all that. So these are ways. So you can go online, like those, when we were talking about it the other time, those apps, the Zillow app, apartment.com, all those things, you can actually do your research.
Use
Then,
them.
then if you can also ask questions, you can actually do that and see favorably, and especially environments. You don't want to be in those toxic environments, or you don't want to be,
That's right.
because yeah, there are some spots, even in all these quiet cities, there are some spots that are known to be ghetto areas. There's some spots. So you want to stay away from those areas and try to be in, in a very in the cool areas. So yeah, you can make those inquiries and get the
Okay.
information. Yeah.
So, how best can one manage their mental health and while balancing family life? I don't know if that question makes sense. Are there recreational activities? Like, are there other things to do aside going to work, church, shopping?
Well, America, there's a lot of things here. I mean, there's recreational activities, um, mostly even for the kids, because when you talk about family, your kid, when you have kids, it's not like back home, where, although some do anyway, but the kids always like, bring it to you that you have to like take them out or something like that. But personally, as a nurse, it's actually a lot. Like the kind of stress. America is fashioned in such a way that, um, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, America is fashioned in such a way that there's this kind of stress that is in this country that is better experienced than explained. You can't really like, if I'm explaining to you, you don't understand, you won't understand until when
Yeah.
you talk, because when you're telling people will be like, and you are still there, so what are you doing there? They'll be like, you're still there. So the environment is, now your work, right? It has its own stress on you and pull. Then coming to family, where some of us come from a place where we have those at our beck and call. We don't do the cooking, we don't do the washing, we don't do the cleaning, and we have those people around us that help us with those things around. And when we come to America, it's done on us. You have to do those things yourself. So then you have to take care of family, the groceries. So all these responsibilities, when so you just have to find time to, take care of yourself. You just have to find time to take care of yourself. Find time to, like, those things you love to do. Sometimes even though it's not personal, because getting personal time is really difficult. Getting personal time, I mean, when you want to have a personal time, someone like me, you want to leave your husband and your kids to go and have personal time, where where, who gave it to you? Where do you want to do that? So if it's like incorporating, so find out that you have to like incorporate like family outings, go out, the kids have fun while they're at it. You also like, feeling your environment, try to look out, try to explore, because every state have, of course, there's always something to look out for. There's also always something unique about each state where you are, or
Yeah.
around the location. You try to like go out and have a feel of the society, try to see your environment in such way it make you, it kind of ease those stress. Take care of yourself as much as you can, and of course, depending on your religion, you commit everything to God and try to, you know meet with other people and see how you can also as well cope with, family and friends. So that communal life, we still try to like bring it up here. Like when we know we visit one another, it helps a lot. It really helps a lot. Like when you see somebody back home, people are so happy. Like you walk to a store and you see your brother and you can speak Yoruba to him, you can speak Igbo to him. Man, that feeling alone, you just like you're at home, just
Brings
at
back
the
memory
moment,
lane.
it makes you feel so good, make you feel so happy. Those are the little things that we can do that can help, put ourselves together so we don't break down, because breakdown can happen like so easily. And so that's why you just have to like work with your family, make sure you have a peaceful home, because after getting stressed from work, you don't want to bring the baggage from work back home.
Back
You
home,
want to
right?
make sure your home is a safe zone where you can come in, relax, and yeah. So these are little ways we can actually look forward to taking care of of ourselves, going on little vacations, visiting one another, however way you want to.
Okay,
Yeah.
we have a question from the comments. Person says, if one is coming from the UK with UK's driving license, does the person need to take another driving exam?
Yes, you will. You will take American driving exam. Yeah,
Okay,
you will. In fact, some self, even depending on, yeah, yeah, I don't think they do state to state, but well, as long as it's not, you will actually take the exam. Some of them might actually like grant you like your driver license temporal. Some states do that, but North Carolina don't. Some states do that. They can actually like allow you to use your driver license for a while, but it's temporal. But just go on and get it, because they won't allow you. You have to write the state's driver's license exam. And yeah.
wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nosiaka. Thank you for breaking down the answers to the multiple questions.
Yeah.
Most of the comments here were saying well done. So thank you everyone who have dropped a comment or dropped a like or have viewed this or will view it in the future. Thank you for coming by or stopping by, and thank you for joining this live stream today, because we have just discussed about nursing practice and lifestyle in the USA. Nosiaka, I don't know if you have any final words of advice or something you want to say or add.
Well, not really. There's really much to say, but it all depends on like what the audience really wants to know. But United States is a place of opportunities, and like I said, I personally am still adjusting to the system. There's a lot of things to know, and nobody's an island. You can't come in here and say you want to figure it out by yourself. You have to ask questions, you have to do your research, and of course ask anybody, even though it's not your first, even though you don't see the some people will be like, even if you don't see the fellow Africans, the white folks are very good, and they also give us the recession, especially when they know you're new. they like to know, oh, you're from Nigeria. They like to know things about you and about your country, about your culture. Yeah,
Yeah.
they are that good and good in giving informations. In fact, sometimes our people hold information, right? They'll want you to go through,
What they
I
went
I
through.
can have family here. They're in Texas, and they want you to go through what they went through before, before you get. Yeah, so sometimes, like when you are closer to families, like say I have family in Texas, they can actually help you, right? To get through some of those hurdles. Yeah, sometimes. So just try to get acquainted to whoever you can, because they help. You can be hoping on somebody to help you. Meanwhile, is another stranger that is
Yeah.
there to help, right? So you is just open your mind to opportunities. You really learn a lot, and of course, even if you want to diversify, like you want to leave your profession, or you want to do something on the side. America is good with having something on the side, right? You can always have something on the side for you to thrive and explore. So yeah, it's a land of opportunities.
Before we end
To
the
come
live
in.
stream, something came to my mind, so I don't forget. Another thing
All
is
right.
like the healthcare. I
Uh,
know obviously the healthcare is not free there for anyone. Um, so in my mind, I'm trying to figure out like what services are available, comparing it, because in the UK, if you come in and your visa qualifies for you to have free healthcare, if you're not well, you can probably go to A&E or go to the GP without the fear of paying for that treatment or lab investigation. However, you pay for your drugs, except you're pregnant or you're a child. I don't know how that works there. What is it like?
Here in the United States of America, healthcare is not free. It's not free. To the best of my knowledge so far, in these 2 years and counting, healthcare is not free. So there's actually subsidized healthcare, uh, like insurance. So you need to have a insurance when you're coming in. So that's one of the things the agencies put together for you. Your work, even as you're being employed, like when you get a job here, it's called like a package, like part of the work package, of which work package sorry, I meant, and of which you can actually include your family and all that. So once you have health insurance, because even sometimes when you go to some health clinic, the first thing they ask you is, do you have health insurance, and what company, they want to know. So they are actually like subsidized ones, but those ones are usually for like their citizens. We hear of Medicaid or Medicare. Yeah, those ones
Yeah,
are really like for their citizens, and maybe depending on you, sometimes we the immigrants can access it, but there are certain conditions that predispose you to one that for that. But as long as you're an immigrant, you're coming in as a nurse, you're coming in as a big person. So you're as a higher grade. So yeah, you have health insurance, so that health insurance can make you access healthcare anytime. It doesn't mean that if you have an emergency, you will not be able to access healthcare. There's always, like, 911. When you have an emergency, you have to use call 911. Just like you guys have 999, right?
yeah.
They'll come attend to you and everything, but at the end of the day, if there's nobody accessible, you pay, and it's very expensive. So you need to have health insurance, of which your work will provide it for you and your family, which you pay. They take the money from your paycheck and all that. So that health insurance is what make covers you to access healthcare services anytime you want to.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much, everyone, for joining the live stream today. Thank you, Nosiaka. If anyone has a question, you can drop in the comment section and I will let her know. Other than that, we are currently rounding up with the live today, and a lot has been said.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot learn it all, and
Yeah.
we've talked about the transport system, educational system, healthcare, which I believe are the basic amenities to life, and we've talked about accommodation as well. So thank you so much, everyone. In the absence of any question, we'll be ending the live stream now.
All
Okay.
right.
Thank
Thank
you,
you for your
everybody.
time. Thank you for inviting me to your channel to have this time with you.
Hopefully, you open a YouTube
Yeah.
channel.
You said what? I should open.
I said,
Yeah,
hopefully.
I'm working towards it. So tell people more about the lifestyle. These are just tips of an iceberg. There's really a lot to everything here, and yeah.
Whenever you open
Love
one,
is
I'll add your YouTube name on the description
all
on
right, no
YouTube.
problem. Yeah,
All
so
right.
people can always have access to information and yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for spending your time with us this evening and enlightening
It's a
us. Have a lovely
pleasure.
evening. Thank you,
Nice to see
everyone.
your beautiful face again. All right, thank you.
And you. Bye.
Bye.